I've been homeless almost 2 years, and I don't like it. You know, I try and get a job here, they won't hire you, they won't do anything. You know, and I'm a cancer patient. You know, and it's not fair for anybody to get treated like they do here. Like, you know, it's unfair. Like, how would you feel if you were in our shoes and being where we are? You know, would you feel loved? Would you feel kindness? No, you'll feel like somebody's taking everything out of you and throwing you to the dogs. And that's the way it is around here. You know, who are you? Like, you know, they tell you, oh, you're nobody. Get lost. You know, and that's what they're treating you, just like a mutt. And that's wrong. I think it's only best if people can get homes. You know, and drop the prices of the apartments and homes. You know, it's stupid. You know, it's just too bad they did this. You know, the city. You know.
I lost my parents in 2014, and ever since then I've tried to find a home. I've been all across Ontario being homeless, and every town I know has a church or a Salvation Army or anything, a warming room or something to get, you know, people off the street and in a secure environment where they can feel comfortable, safe, have counselors to talk to, or even just someone to, you know, put a shoulder on to cry. And I think Peterborough is the first time where I've ever heard of a town closing something like that from this time to this time, because people should be outside. We set up the tent here in Peterborough at the City Hall to make a statement. We need help. We're just solving the problem for a short time, but we need a longer lasting effectiveness to make homelessness known to everyone. I stayed at the warming room for about 2 weeks, and the staff there were great. You know, even though everyone was homeless, everyone really respected their own individual area. And the same thing here, you know, the tent that you sleep in is your own area, and you need permission from that person to go near or in the tent.
Let me give it to you just like it is. My name is Everton Simpson. I'm a Jamaican. Coming to Canada was like selling a passport ticket to an alien. Say, oh, come on over to Canada and we'll supply you with everything that you need. We'll provide you with your family needs and your desire. Now we leave our country, and when we come, we drop into a land of poverty. People are homeless, nowhere to live. The people live on the street, they eat from the garbage. Whatever the rich guys eat and leave back, that's what they feed the poor people on. I've been in Peterborough for 8 months, and it's 8 months of being on the street. We deserve the right to be health and food and shelter. And today I'm asking you governments and heads of state to do your best. Give me your best shot, because it's there for us. Come on guys, you can do better. Tired. Tired of sleeping outside, being homeless. I can't take it anymore. I'm not gonna survive much longer.
is a sensitive situation, but I wanted to make a video and show people what I went through being homeless. Now, this is something, we're gonna get to this, but I want to make this clear that at no point in time when I was homeless was I addicted to drugs. Um, this is gonna be difficult. It's a long story, and it starts when I was 14 years old, and I'm almost 29 years old now. And it is necessary to connect all the dots because, or else nothing will make sense. But so my cause of homelessness was never because of an addiction or because of decisions that I made that landed me there. I never had an addiction. I definitely went through alcoholism, but that wasn't the main factor of my homelessness. And actually, I didn't really become a true alcoholic really until I was like homeless, and there was no other way to cope. But as an adult, as a teenager, it's a different story. I think we all go through our foolish years when we're a young person, right? But let me just start here. When I was 14 years old, I ran away from my mother's because it was an abusive environment. I grew up all the way from an infant all the way up until I was 13, 14 years old around violence, blood all over the carpets, blood all over the walls, holes in the walls, loud music, rock and roll music, loud music, drunk people, my mom getting beat up, punched out by not my real father. He actually went to jail for 10 years just after I was born for an armed robbery. I don't know if he was trying to get money to support me or whatever. It was, my dad. Um, that's another story. He's passed away now. He passed away when I was 18 years old, but we'll get to that. But anyways, so I ran away when I was 13, 14 years old uh, because it was an abusive environment. My mother, she was abusive to me because she was an alcoholic and she was around violence and she was abused by her partner, which was supposed to be my stepdad, if that's what you want to call it. But anyways, so uh, I finally had enough, and I would go to school on zero sleep. Just been up all night, crying, screaming, begging them to turn the music down, and they would just tell me to shut the f up, and then they would turn the music up louder, and that was traumatizing as a child, um, to not get that compassion and love that I needed from my parents to just disacknowledge me and decide to live the lifestyle they wanted to live, and it affected me for the rest of my life. But that's nothing, that's a lot of people go through that, but I want to get past that, and I want to go on. I want to continue. I just want to show you, I just want to give you an idea of where it started. But so I had enough of the abuse. I had enough of the drunkenness, the violence, the cops all the time. The loud music. How am I supposed to go to school? I go to school, can't concentrate. Didn't have lunch money. Everyone else had lunch money. I had holes in my clothes. I was devastated as a child, and so I didn't perform well in school, and I would get in trouble, lash out, get suspended or get kicked out, and then I would get punished again when I went home. So I would basically be getting punished for being punished, because how do you expect me to function as a child in school if that's the environment, and then I come home and then you punish me on top of it when it was really you that messed me up in the first place, why I'm performing that way in school. uh, you know um, so anyways, when I was 13, I ran away. Didn't want to get hit no more, didn't want to get thrown around by my mom's boyfriend. threatened, slapped in the head, whatever alcoholism, just violence. So I ran away, and my dad was just finally out of jail, and he got married to another woman. Um, and so I ran away to go live with my dad and his wife, and everything was okay. I was going to school. My dad was doing what he was supposed to do. He was getting me to do my homework. He was enforcing the ruling as a father, making sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do as a child. And he made sure that I was on point and I was doing what was right. Um, and he was doing what was right as a parent at that time. Um, and then he started drinking again. Got into the drugs again, crack cocaine, heroin, oxycontin, like oxy 80s. He was doing needles, and he went right off the deep end, and that wouldn't be the first time in his life that obviously he's been in that place. But now I'm there. So his wife left him, and she left us the apartment. So now here I am, like 13, 14. I mean, I'm 28 years old. It's hard to remember that far back, and I try to bury a lot of that stuff. And now I'm starting to bring it up and look at the root cause of a lot of the internal issues that I have. I'm taking counseling and stuff like that. Nobody knows this yet, eh? This is all new, even for the people on my YouTube channel. You guys are about to see something that you never seen about my life or about me. And I held back on this because I was still homeless. I was still under bad circumstances, and I wanted to be resilient, and I wanted to overcome those obstacles in my life so that way I could help others do that. And that's now what I'm doing. So I'm in a blessed situation right now. I'm okay. I'm doing well. And this feels like the time for me to really show you. I have videos of me. I documented my experience being homeless because I believed in my future that I had big dreams for my future, and I believed that I would find greatness through my trials and tribulations. I believed that I would be successful in my future in some way, in a huge way. I've always felt that in my gut. Don't worry, Corey. You're gonna make it. You're gonna make it big with your music, whatever it is. You're gonna make it out, and you're gonna save everybody. You're gonna pull everyone out of the hood. You're gonna make it out of the hood. You're gonna make it to paradise, and you're gonna pull everybody out. Your family. You're gonna feed everyone. You're gonna take care of everyone. You're gonna be the provider, the protector. You know, in a sense. Um, and So I had that dream. So I documented my entire, not my entire, but a lot of my experience while I was homeless. Like literally recording myself while I'm in a tent, or while I'm, all the shelters were full and I had absolutely nowhere to sleep, and they wouldn't give me a blanket, they wouldn't give me a sleeping bag, they wouldn't give me a pillow. I went to every single facility and they said they can't help me. So there's been times I had to sleep on a bench, freezing like this in the rain. You know, I've had to break into empty buildings that are not even for rent yet, that are up for rent. I've had to break into, houses and sleep in a basement and risk going to jail just to go to sleep because there's nowhere to sleep. I had to, buzz people's buzz numbers on their apartment buildings to say, oh, sorry, I left my key, da, da. Okay, they let me in. I go to the top floor in the stairwell and I sleep on the ground. Since I was 14 years old, all the way up until pretty much almost until now, I've had to do that. And we're gonna get to all these reasons, because people might look at me and be like, well, you're a clean cut young looking dude, what's your problem? Why can't you work? Why can't you do this? Why you can't? I'll get to that, but I just want to show you. Okay, just be open minded, and you're gonna see that there's a lot of things going on that people don't get to see in somebody's life. Why uh, it could be stopping them from prevailing, or elevating themselves out of that situation. Comes from a lot of damage and trauma. And then when you get to that point where you're like, yeah, I'm gonna get out of this, I'm gonna get a job, I'm gonna get a place, and you try, and then you burn out, and then you break down emotionally, and then you try and kill yourself, and it goes from there. It goes deeper and deeper. Luckily, I knew the next step after that into that darkness was addiction, and was to start doing drugs. And I seen everyone die from it. I seen everyone go. It took everybody, and I was still sitting there not giving in, like, oh fuck, I should just take a needle, I should just stick it in my arm, I should just kill. I wanted to show people the pain that I was in, but I didn't do it because I knew that might be a place that I might not come back from. You know what I mean? So I tried with everything in me not to give into that. And there has been times I've been addicted to cocaine, ecstasy, and things of that nature when I was a teenager. But anyways, I want to go back. So when I was young, so I ran away. I went to my dad's. That happened. They left us the place. Um, my dad's wife left us the place, and then he began turning it into a crack operation where um, he was cooking cocaine and cooking it into crack cocaine, and then selling it, and also smoking it, and also smoking oxy 80s when before they were formed into a new pharmaceutical way that you couldn't melt them down and smoke them. But that's stuff that not too many people know about as a street thing. Um, anyways, the green oxy 80s. So he was smoking them, banging them, everything. So at 14 years old, I was selling cocaine, crack. At 15 years old, I was robbing drug dealers at gunpoint. At 16, I was stealing cars and kicking doors in. I got charged with breaking and entering with intent, which means that you went in there to basically kill somebody or hurt somebody. You broke into their place to with intent to do something to somebody. It's not just a breaking and entering to steal. Um, so I've been charged with possession of stolen vehicles, breaking and entering with intent, assault. Um, I've extensive amounts of charges all the way up, starting from like I think 14, 15, all the way up. Um, I'm gonna get to it. This is a process. So, anyways, I was answering the door. My dad had me answering the door, selling crack. You know, what we, this is how we would talk. Okay, so the custies, that's what we would call them. People with struggling with addictions. Okay. Now, of course, my outlook has changed in life now. I don't look at people like that anymore. Um, I have a lot of sensitivity and emotion towards that now, and it's hard not to even just cry talking about it. But um, my outlook, obviously, when I was that young, is you're either a winner or a loser, and I chose to be on the winning side, and they chose to be on the losing side. This was the mentality that I had at the time, and so I sold the drugs. They purchased the drugs. So, anyways, I would answer the door to one of the the custies. That's what we would. This is how we would refer. I'm just bringing it back. I don't mean to be disrespectful in any way towards people that are struggling with addictions, and I want to make that clear. Um, but this is how we talk. This is my life. This is my reality at this point. So I'm answering the door to do runs. You know what I mean? They come. Here's a 20 piece. Here's a 40 piece. Can I come inside and smoke it? No. Okay. What if I give you $20? Okay, you can go in the bathroom and smoke it. Open the window, blow it out the window. You know what I mean? And this is crack cocaine we're talking about when I'm 14 years old in my apartment. My dad would be out making runs, and I'd be answering the door selling drugs. Um, there was weapons in the house for me to use if somebody tried to rob us. My dad basically told me grab the gun and blow his fucking head off. Excuse my language, but this is a real video. You know what I mean? This is not a channel or a video for children and or for youths or whatever. This is as real as it gets. So bottom line is I'm gonna show some videos of me homeless. I don't have anything when I was young like that because I didn't know. I was just living it. I was just going through it. But I just want to give a little background story, and then I'm going to go into the videos and show you some really very sensitive, exposing videos of me while I'm homeless. And I didn't want to do this because I didn't want to expose myself like that. And you know what I mean? I have enemies that wish for my downfall. I have people that wish death on me, that or if they even knew where I was located, they would come and try and kill me because the lifestyle that I lived, there's consequences for that, and there's retaliation, and it'll come back and get you, whether it's 10 to 15 to 20 years later. As soon as you get comfortable and then you think you're okay, oh, I feel like I want to change my life now. Well, they're not changing their life, and they don't give an F. You know what I mean? These individuals, you know, I grew up in the street. It's not a joke. I had to do a lot of serious things, and that could cause some more serious things to happen to you. And then the wrong people are after you, and then that's usually when you get killed or you kill somebody in defense of your life, and that's where that goes. It's either death or jail. So that's how real it got for me. So I can't be exposing myself and putting my location out there for my enemies to figure me out, figure out where, if I'm weak right now, if I'm vulnerable, if where I'm located, because they will come, and they'll come by the 5-10 carloads, you know what I mean, and it'll be a tragedy. But or you know, I'll have to do something and it'll be a tragedy. So I'm just setting the bar right now. So anyways, so that's how I grew up. You know, I was selling drugs at 14, 15. I was cooking cocaine into crack by my father. My father taught me the game and had me around pen timers, murderers, two dudes that were in my apartment when I was a kid, helping me cook these drugs and learn how to hustle them and weigh it on a scale and sell it. Big, huge, big dudes from the pen, you know, and one of them got killed. The other one got a murder charge, first degree, and he got life. So, um, this is how I grew up from 14 years old, around killers and murderers and drug dealers and gangs, and my city was a violent place, and my own parents, you know, were caught up in their own lifestyles. Didn't realize what it was doing to me. So, anyways, um, ripped off, ripped off. But I turned it around, you know. But we're gonna get to that. But I want to show what happened to me, and I want to show how real this is. People don't understand, and the people that are looking down on homeless people and being like, "Oh, you bum, get a job, and you loser," and blah, stop crying and complain. These individuals have absolutely no fucking idea what they're talking about, and they're about to find out, you know. And everybody wants to say, "Oh, I grew up tough too, and I didn't have any parents, and I didn't have any family." Yeah, bullshit. Because you would have been right on the same strip as me selling crack at 15 years old if you really were about that life, and you would have been kicking doors and robbing drug dealers at gunpoint if you really didn't grow up with no family and no parents and no foundation to go to sleep somewhere so you can wake up, so you can go to work and earn a check so you can leverage yourself. Okay, if you're coming from the street up like I did, 14 years old, around these influences, there's very slim chance that you're going to be able to function in society, period. When you become an adult, you're already destroyed by trauma, by mental illness, you know, by post-traumatic stresses. Or do you think it's a joke? I'm a pretty tough dude, you know what I mean? I've been to jail too. I've done some little bit of time, you know what I mean? And it turns you into an animal. And you no longer, you're not going to function in society, that's for damn sure. And you're not going to be able to maintain a job or get a place because no one wants to rent to you. Nobody wants to hire you. You know what I mean? So let's get real for a sec. And this is where it starts. So I want to show that. 15, 16 years old, like I said, you know, in and out of jail. So what happened was me and my dad, we did a score. This is the last little stretch as a teenager. We did a score. What was that? Hold on. 16, 17, 18. He went to jail for 3 years. So we did a score when I was like 15, 16. And we robbed a whole business, me and my father. Yeah. And he was doing heroin. We were living in an apartment where there was, well, she was a female worker, a prostitute, and that's how she made money to pay half the rent. My dad lived there and had a room there. So, and they're both doing drugs. So, anyways, we did a score. We robbed a company. We robbed a whole business. Cleared it out. Cleared the whole thing out. And the SWAT team came and kicked our door in the morning. Pretty quick response. But I think somebody said something. Anyways, so my dad, the cop said, "What is this? Some type of father-son thing?" My dad's like, "My son had absolutely no idea about any of this stuff. He came here to see me, and I didn't tell him, you know, well, obviously what was going on, and this is the result." And they looked at me. I think they had me on cam. They already knew, but I was a kid, so they just let me go. He did 3 years for that bit. He did 3 years for that, and he came out when I was like 18. 16, 17, 18, yeah, 3 years. Came out when I was 18, now I'm an adult. From a kid to an adult, again, missed me again, you know what I mean? We only spent a couple bit of time together and we're selling crack, and, you know, so this is my reality. This is not exaggerated. And I swear my father's grave, and he knows that, But I don't blame my parents anymore for what happened to me. Actually, it became a strength in my life, and it blessed me in my life. And we're gonna get to that, and I'm gonna show that too. It's time, It's time. So it was the first time really like in my life ever doing this, talking about this, or making a video in this way, or ever showing me actually homeless, like laying on a sidewalk because the shelters are full and they won't give me a blanket, so I literally slept on the ground. And you know how many tears I've cried as a grown man. Devastated since I was a child. So anyways, um so then 18 years old, he gets out, and now he's done. He's like, okay, that's it. I just want to be a father. I just want to be in your life. I just want to be with my wife and my dog, which was my dog as well. Husky, Timberwolf, beautiful dog. Show some pictures, show some videos. She died 6 months after my father. Yeah, so I go to jail now as an adult, 18 years old. We're chilling a little bit, and then, you know, um, 18 years old, I go to adult jail in Hamilton, Ontario, Barton Jail, maximum security. Um, and yeah, so when I go to jail, about 30 days in, I just talked to my dad, like a week. I'm about almost 30 days in. I just talked to my dad, and next thing you know, he's in ICU in a coma. He had emphysema and he got pneumonia, and he couldn't fight it, couldn't beat it, he couldn't fight it. So he was in an induced coma, and the jail said, either you're gonna get to see him now in the hospital, before he dies, uh, and then you won't be allowed to go to the funeral, or you wait until he passes away and then you get to go to the funeral. And I'm sitting there like, bro, I don't even know if my dad's gonna die. Why would I accept that he's gonna pass away? But at the same time, I don't want to miss the funeral, and I don't want to go now, see him on his deathbed, and not go to the funeral. It's just crazy. It's just sickness. And on top of it, people are trying to kill me. People are trying to beat me up in jail. My girlfriend is now sleeping with my best friend, and they try to pay canteen money to somebody on my range to get me jumped or hurt or stabbed. Didn't work out. But this is my reality. I'm going through it. This is really what happened. So my dad did die. He passed away. And the hospital was right across the street from the jail. You can look it up, General Hospital in Barton Jail. I could see through the window and see the hospital my dad was dying in. I couldn't get out and go there. So he passed away. I was 30 days into my sentence, first offense as an adult, 18 years old, which was an assault. But I have an extensive youth record of the breaking and enterings, the stealing the cars, and all types of everything that you could probably imagine. And so he passed away. I go to court, and my lawyer is pushing for time served in compassion of his father's death. Uh, the judge looks at me and gives me another month in jail. So I did 2 months, and my dad just died. So I was supposed to get out of that court and run to the funeral from 1 till 3 p.m., thinking I'm going to get out, I'm going to make it to the funeral. So I missed his deathbed, and I missed the funeral. And they brought me back to the jail, and I sat there, and I did another month sitting there, and still had to deal with people trying to stomp me out and stab me and kill me, and I had to fight, and I had to do real bad things, and it made me evil, and it made me have to go into a state of mind that I never thought I would ever have to go into, and I never wanted to. Jail doesn't help anybody, it makes you worse. And to begin with, it was pretty much hardly even my fault, you know what I mean, why I was even in that situation. But that comes with the life, and I didn't ask for that life, I was born into it. So just make sure you know before you go and hate on people and call them whatever you call them. Make sure you know, and you're probably not going to be able to know, so just don't do it, you know what I mean. You don't know, you know what I mean. So other than that, so I got out of jail about a month after that, and I decided to change my life. And I moved to Kitchener, jumped on a bus with a duffel bag full of clothes, no money. Went to a city I had no idea I don't have anybody there, no family, no friends, no parents, nothing. Went to a hostel, went to a homeless shelter, a men's homeless shelter, and I checked in, and now here I am homeless, and I still was running the streets in between that. When my dad was in jail for the 3 years, I was running through the streets. I was sleeping outside. I was breaking into houses. I was sleeping at friends' houses. I was uh, stealing to get money so I could provide for myself and put clothes on my back, because I wasn't going back to my abusive mother's house, the drunken house, den, and my dad's in jail, and now I'm alone. I have nobody. Nobody was there for me. I was on my own. Nobody even offered to bring me to work. Hey, come on, kid, let's go to work. You're coming to work. Or, here, I'm going to help. Like, there was just nobody there. I was just me in the street, and that's it. And the streets inherited me, and then they taught me to trade how to survive in the street, which is nothing nice. Nothing nice. But I still survived. And I had to become like that in order to survive, or else I would not have, and I would have been a real victim, so people don't understand that either. I never wanted to be that person and to do those things in my life, but I had no choice, and it all was out of my control. Um, you don't even know what a sin number is when you're a kid like that, or where I come from, Hamilton. Like, it's all gangs, it's all violence, it's all like that. Everybody's fucked. Everyone's parents is messed. It's a shit show, And if you didn't grow up in the slums in a hood like that, then don't judge people. You don't know what we've been through, and why we had to be the way we had to be. You think there's a decision and a choice? There isn't. What am I going to do? Be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to get a job at 16 when I don't even know what a sin number is, and I've already been selling crack since I was 14. What are you, stupid? Come on, let's get real for a sec. Anyways, right. So I got a job though when I after I was in a homeless shelter. I worked at the working center. You can look it up, working center in Kitchener. Nathan Stretch was my employer at the time. Um, and Rebecca, her family is who owns the working center. So, anyways, yeah, I got a job, 6-month contract. Got an apartment right at the corner with a skylight, and I was like, "Yo, I'm up." Got a studio. I'm working. I'm doing good. Then everything started to catch up emotionally. I couldn't function all of a sudden. I'm crying out of nowhere in the middle of my job, breaking down, tears pouring out of my face. I can't hold it back. I can't control myself. I can't contain it. It's coming out regardless. And I didn't realize that there was some type of damage done or some trauma. I didn't believe in that was even a thing. I'm like, nah, man, I'm tough. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna make a way for myself. I'm gonna earn a life for myself. I don't care about the old life. I'm good. I'm straight. I'm over it. Well, we all think like that, and then it kicks you in the chest. You know what I mean? So, well, here I am missing work now, or I'm taking extra breaks, and they're like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, I don't know how to describe this to you, but I'm really damaged. This is what happened to me. This is what I just went through. I'm having a hard time. I don't know what to do. This is my first time, trying to provide for myself other than selling drugs, and I grew up like this. I'm trying, but my dad died, and I have nobody, and I'm devastated. I'm depressed. I want to kill myself. Like, it all started happening, but I got a job and I got a place, and it doesn't matter. So I just did a nosedive, actually I made it through the 6 months. Even got a bonus check at the end, but I was paying bi-weekly to this place, and it was like $480, bi-weekly, and just to survive. So then my bank gives me a credit card for $2,000. So now I'm thinking, okay, I'll just pay my rent, pay for my groceries, and I'll just get another job, thinking I'm going to get another job. Well, it doesn't work like that in the real world. It just doesn't just happen like that, especially with somebody from my history and a criminal record and the trauma that I had. It doesn't work like that. I don't know why people think that that's how this shit works. It don't work. Try it. From my position, it won't work. I don't care how clever and slick and strong you think you are. Believe me, I'm one of the toughest nails in a box, buds. You know what I mean? So, um, anyways, lost my place, went back to homelessness, and it became a cycle. It became a way of life, a lifestyle. And unfortunately, I even started, selling drugs again. Um, then I almost got knocked and almost ended up in the penitentiary. And then I said, you know what? I'd rather be homeless and poor than sell drugs and kill people and end up in jail for the rest of my life or dead. So I just became homeless. I just became a permanent homeless person. Imagine that, eh? And people think, oh, people just become homeless because they're drug addicts, because they just want to party. No, you just seen that whole process. That's exactly how it happened. No exaggeration. That's how it became. That's how I accepted homelessness. And guess what? There's a lot of people out there the same thing, man. Where I come from, this is normal. This is a normal way of life where I come from. Everyone's messed up like that. People are take life for granted. They have no idea the advantage and leverages that they had that they think they didn't. You have no idea what an advantage is. Trust me. But anyways, uh, yeah. So went back to homelessness, and then I applied. I ended up on disability for mental disorders, for chronic anxiety, depression, ADHD, bipolar. I was diagnosed with all these things. They tried to put me on medication. It made me sick, made me lose my mind even further. Stopped taking it. But now here I am on disability. So fast forward, I end up in BC. I leave that place and I come out to BC, Vancouver Island, and then experience homelessness in a completely different way. In a tent, we wouldn't do that where I'm from. We don't do that. We just sell drugs and we survive and we rob other people to survive and we don't care what happens to anyone or anything. We just get what we need and we live. Um, that's how we survive where I'm from. Out here is different. You don't really have to do that. It's a really pretty nice place. You don't really got to do all that. You can actually just pretty much live in a tent on the side of a beautiful white sand beach on an island, and you're probably going to be okay. But now homelessness has become your reality and a permanent uh, faction in your life. So it's easy to just say, you know what, I'm done with all this. I'm done with society. It doesn't like me anyways. It doesn't want me in there. The working industry is very unwelcoming. It's almost impossible to get a job with the type of criminal record I had since 14. There's no way in for me. So I might as well just accept this. This is as good as it's going to get, and I'm lucky to have that. And that's what I did. But, you know, then I went through all the pain. It's still following me. It kicked me even harder in my mid 20s. It really beat me up bad. And there's a lot more to the story that I'm skipping, but I just want to give you an understanding, of how this all happened. And I'm gonna put videos in this at the end. This is gonna be a long video, but there's gonna be videos of me like laying on the ground, like full out homeless, defeated, wanting to kill myself, crying, looking like a mess. You know what I'm saying? And I was not doing no drugs the whole time. Like, I've never been a drug addict. I've been a drug dealer. Okay, I never touched the drug. I sold it, but when I stopped selling it, I became a bottom feeder. I became a homeless man. I can't earn, can't get a job. There's no place for me. There's no space for me. I don't belong. I don't fit in. And if anything, people just, they're just whatever. Like, get out of here. So I withdrawed from the system and society, and I just didn't want no more problems, and I didn't want people to judge me, and I just wanted to be alone and heal if I can. And that's what became isolation for me in my life. And I've left you know I was just by myself for years and years and years and years, no friends, nobody. So, and then I got introduced to the Amwin house, and I'm going to make a video about that. So there's going to be like some parts to this, and I really want you guys to follow along, because this is probably the most sensitive thing I've ever done in my life, and also the most in-depth thing that I'm ever going to do about my life. And there's going to be more to come, and there's some good news at the end, so don't worry about it. Things are going pretty well for me right now, and I'm going to get to that too. I actually am working with the Existence Project now, and they've hired me on and gave me a formal contract as to hire me as a program developer and a speaker to speak about my lived experience. And there's new employment opportunities for people with lived experience, and there's new places for us now. And guess what? It's to empower other people, and it's also to expose a lot of the stigma behind homelessness and addiction. So I found myself, all the trials and tribulations that I've been through in my life, it turned around and it became a career opportunity for me, and I have a contract now with an organization that is just amazing. You know, I always dreamed in my head like, oh, there's got to be another way. I don't want to be a miserable skinhead construction worker, pissed off, big pride man. Get a job, you bum. I didn't want to be that guy. You know what I mean? So I was hoping that I could do something that I like to do in my life and also empower others with my experience and try and show them there's a way out. My whole purpose was to overcome all of this stuff, to live, not to kill I wanted to kill myself many times, but I said, you know what, I'm gonna live. I'm gonna flip this, and when I get my foot in the door, yo, the system is fucked and everybody's fucked that did this shit to me. You know what I mean? I was like, and I'm gonna go so hard, so hard in life, you know. And that's my purpose, Corey Resilient. So I'm gonna start putting the videos in here now. Okay, so you see that the other day I made a video and there was 4 bottles of wine in here that were like a quarter full because my mom pretty much drinks every fucking day. And because she drinks every day, here's another bottle of wine the next day. And watch now, that one's going to be there. There's going to be another one. There's going to be another one and another one. There's going to be 4 bottles of wine here at the bottom in about 3 days. And today is Wednesday, August 21st, 5:10 p.m. So, and the other day I showed you guys there was 4 bottles of wine right here. And just before those 4 bottles, there was another 4 bottles before that she threw out into the recycling, into the garbage. So I'm making these videos because she drinks so much she doesn't even remember doing it. So she cannot believe that she is drinking every day for the last fucking 2 weeks, and a bottle every fucking day, every night, every day. About that big. She just spent $200 fucking in the last week on fucking bottles of wine. And there's hardly any fucking food. There's no fucking food, man. There is no fucking food. Those eggs are done. That sandwich has been there for fucking 4 days. It was fucking old. You know, there's a can of fucking tuna. There's some fucking cans of tomatoes that have been sitting in there for 4 fucking days. Okay? Back there, that's been sitting there for however fucking knows long. I don't know. I don't go back there. And there's fucking nothing. The milk is bitter, it's sour. I took a drink and spit it out. You know what I mean? And, yeah, there's nothing in here either. There's a fucking can of fucking knows, but that's not fucking food, man. You don't live off fucking crackers and tuna and seasoning. You know what I'm saying? That peanut butter has been here way before months and months. It's been here. It's already empty. What do we got here? There's a little bit of rice, you know, some dollar store shit, right? There's a couple dollar store things, but you can't live off fucking dollar store items and fucking orange juice, you know what I mean? And fucking noodles and popcorn that don't even have any fucking sauce, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing. That's food bank right there. That's less than the food bank. I would get more than the fucking food bank if I went there. I bought myself salmon. I spent $100 in groceries. I buy and order all the fucking food. And she spends all of her fucking money on booze. I spent $100 and something on fucking groceries. That's the fucking reality. And that's going to continue, and it's never stopped. This has been like this for year after year, for fucking 10 years, 20 years, 28 fucking years of my life. I'm 28 years old. So, and she's been an alcoholic before I was born, so.
Gotta get changed. Fucking hotter than a blade. It's nice cold water, by the way.
I know.
That's all I want. Yummy, yummy.
This is probably the worst I've ever looked, felt, and fucking, yeah, man. Shit is really bad, man. I'm tenting, you know, I'm homeless. I'm in a fucking tent, right? And, this shit is really fucking me up, man. I'm just fed up with life, man. I'm just fed up. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm fucking sick. People are fucking trying to prey on me and fucking steal from me and fucking I just came back and my whole fucking tent was flipped upside down and everything was wet in my fucking tent. The only place I have to sleep, the fucking shelter kicked me out because they said that I have to use my real name or I can't live there and I don't want to fucking be in their fucking system for many various reasons. And I'm not stupid, man. I should be able to check into a fucking shelter anonymously without fucking having to identify myself. They can go fuck themselves. Anyway, so they refuse services to me. So I'm out fucking starving to death and fucking, unable to fucking get showers for the weekend. I have to wait until fucking Monday. I'm so fucking depressed and fucking defeated. And all I can do is think about killing myself and how my life turned into a fucking nightmare and I'm incapable of getting myself out of this shit. And I have tried for like 8 to 10 years straight and I don't do any drugs. I smoke weed, here and there. I'm not an alcoholic, I fucking never drink. I don't find joy in drinking. I don't like drinking. And I'm fucking stuck, man. I'm stuck. And I can't get out. And now I'm fucking withering away. This is the worst I've ever looked or been. Anybody that knew me, see me look like this and in a situation like this, they would fucking be devastated. They wouldn't believe it. This is an unfair, cruel fucking world, man. I've tried to. You don't understand. I'm sick. I have a broken arm. My arm's fucked. I can't do hard labor. I have a criminal record. A lot of places won't hire me. My references are apparently too old. I'm so burnt out from trying to fucking work my way into the system that it just destroyed me. And I just let myself go. I stopped shaving. I stopped getting my hair cut. I just gave up on life, man. I'm just destroyed, completely. And there's people that are trying to act like they're my friend and shit when I know they just flipped my fucking tent upside down and they did that shit, yo. I came back tired with heat stroke, fucking hungry, to just lay in my tent and just fucking die off, to come back and find it flipped upside down and wet on the inside because I had a bottle of water open in there. I know they fucking did it because I can tell their energy shifted and they just came from this side of the fucking field. Just woke up and walked out of that tent. Ain't nobody around but me. 24/7, 365, man. It's my room. I got all my stuff here. And all my clothes. It's windy out. Got my desk here. Okay. And yeah, so Here's the bed, dresser. Look at this autofocus mode. Can't zoom in. Damn, son. What up? I just wrote this. Sincere Music, aka Corey Resilient. On iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Apple Store, just search Sincere Music. Music with a Z. Corey Resilient on YouTube, let's go. Yeah, listen, all of my life I've been hated, but somehow I still make it. Can't feel shit cause I'm faded, can't hear you cause I'm high like a spaceship. I'm so resilient, the feeling's amazing. They still mad cause I'm constantly blazing. They want me to stress but I'm highly evasive. They'll be around when I finally make it. I don't know why all these people try and hate now. That's not in my DNA, we can't relate now. I've been on a different road, it's looking straight now. But I've been standing on the edge and looking straight down. Yeah, I already know, think I've been there before. You don't know darkness, believe me, I seen it, I did it, I came from below. If you could feel all of my pain, then all your pain would go. If you were just a little kid and had no place to go, I was only trying to live and trying to find a home. Don't do drugs and I don't drink like I did before. Just a youngin' in the city trying to stay afloat. They didn't know that I'm the realest, yeah, and now they know. Funny, isn't it, what I would've done different. Couldn't picture this image, gotta go, get it, now I'm winning. Yeah, it's funny I made it, I'm still alive and I hate it. Satan's a pussy, can't claim it. God's got my back, it's amazing. They don't know I'm protected, inheriting all of my blessings. They ain't getting the message, trying to fuck up my progression. I'm overcome with depression, then I bounce back cause the truth's my weapon. All of my heart is invested, sincere music, Corey Resilient. I'm the most hated, forget it. All that I say, I meant it, always the purest intentions. Been through a lot, no question, lost my way and I lost my direction. Yeah. Deepness. All real shit, man. Don't judge a book by its cover, man. Yeah. I don't know why all these people tryna hate now. That's not in my DNA, we can't relate now. I've been on a different road, it's looking straight now. But I was standing on the edge and looking straight down. Funny, isn't it, what I would've done different. Couldn't picture this image, gotta go get it. Now I'm winning. Yeah.
open and breathe, emotion repeating. Until I'm slowly defeated, gave it my all, but I never really got what I needed, focused and leading. And now I'm back on my own. Memories of the past still attacking my dome of what I know we could have been, but you already know we slowly drifted away. Now there's nowhere to go. Let's get it.
It's going.
Yo, I had to tell him that I had to leave. I'm like, yo, I got another trick up my sleeve. Addicted to the life I was living, but I only took whatever to me that was given. Fuck everybody that you know. Fuck everyone from Steel City, yo, I got that shit tatted on my wrist. Yo, I did a little bit, yo, I took a little risk and I lost my dad. Yo, that shit is sad, but yo, I still sit here and I spit. I'm glad I made a move. Fuck this and whatever that you do, cause I guarantee that you will get confused. You lost in a life that you got no control over. Never find me one day when I'm sober. And like I said, lucky than a four-leaf clover. I wonder when it's done, yo, wonder when it's over. Till then, don't fuck with me, bitch. Don't fuck with me, cause reluctantly you will see in time that I'ma do my thing. Cause I'm on my grind and I'ma get my shine, make my money. I'm fucking laughing at your haters all there. You're funny and handle.
So I know that was a long video, but I hope it gives people a little bit of perspective. Like, I wish I could show more. You know, that's all the material that I really had. But if you could see even how deeper and darker this world really is, and how it can happen to anybody, man, how homelessness can happen to anybody, and it's not necessarily, you know, this is the stigma. The stigma is that everybody that's a homeless person is a piece of shit. They're a junkie, they're a drug addict, they ended up homeless because they wanted to do drugs and wanted to drink and party and ruin their life, and that's why they're there. Farthest thing from the truth. Farthest thing from the truth. It does not start with addiction. Homelessness doesn't start with addiction, it starts with trauma. Okay, it doesn't start with bad decisions, okay? It starts with being a child around bad influences. The foundation has to be there. I don't care who you think you are or how tough you think you are. And, you know, if you're 14 years old and your father is getting you to sell crack cocaine and rob drug dealers, and you're around gangsters, and, you know, then you're abandoned, and then you have to run the streets from 14 all the way up, and then, you know, your dad dies. Like, bro, if that really happened to you, if you really been through it, for real, it's gonna affect the rest of your life. You're not gonna be able to function in society. It doesn't work like that. There's trauma. There's things that take 30 years or even the rest of your life to heal from, to even function like a normal, average human being. On top of the stigma, on top of the way that people treat you, because you're different, because you've been traumatized. Like, you're defeated. You're done. You know, that's why people are angry. That's why people resort to drugs. That's why people don't give a fuck, and they're just doing whatever the fuck, you know, and then people put more hate towards you. You know what I mean? So I just want to show you that, you know what, you could be an innocent child and be born into this world full of evil people. Even your parents can fail you, But when you do become an adult, you don't realize these people don't realize this is the excuse that people like to say. Oh well, who cares about your past? Like, you're an adult now, just get a job and get a place. Like, do you understand how pathetic and foolish that really truly sounds? After going through that much trauma from 14 all the way up to 18 years old, you think that I'm just gonna go ahead and just be able to just be okay? But I developed myself in a way that made me have to be a part of the streets. If you're in the streets from 14 to 18, buddy, you're not getting a job when you turn 18, okay? You're not getting a job. You're going to be a criminal by then. You're going to have a criminal background. You're going to be an animal. You're going to be violent. You're going to not think the same way as everybody else does in society. You're not going to want to be a part of society. And you're going to still be angry and lashing out. Because you got ripped off for your fucking life. That's the facts. You know what I mean? Before you even had a chance to develop yourself or be who you're meant to be. You know what I mean? So this needs to stop. I need everybody to stop doing this to people. Okay? People deserve compassion. People deserve love. People, you don't understand. They were raped when they were a child. They got kicked out when they were 14. Ran the streets. The streets ate them up, devoured them, changed the way they think and feel. It ruins you. It makes you so you can't provide for yourself. And then you got everyone in society looking down at you, calling you a piece of shit when you just want to fucking blow your brains out. I hope people learn from this, man. And I'm going to continue to expose this because the stigma needs to go away. It needs to be removed because you, the person that's putting people down, homeless people or drug addicts or whatever, you are the cause of homelessness. Yeah, you're the cause of it. You are contributing to homelessness, addiction, trauma, and resentment, and people withdrawing from the system. They don't want to be a part of it if you're going to treat them like that. You think I want to fucking be a part of your shit? After you're going to treat me like that? After everything I went through from a child all the way up? Like I fucking had a choice, motherfucker? Well, now I'm angry. Now I just want to punch people out. That's what happens. This is the cycle that happens to people, and I am in the right to feel that way. To want to be that way. Especially after being programmed like that from 14 all the way up to 18. And I still did try. I flipped it around. I went and got a job. I went and got a place. But you don't get it. There's things that you can't see that are going on inside of a human being after they've been through fucking that long of trauma to that extent. People think you grew up gangster, buds? You weren't 14 years old fucking kicking doors in and selling coke crack with a bunch of fucking murderers and shit. Were you? Yeah, I didn't think so. So don't crack to me and say that you came up tough and you lived a fucking tough life and all that shit. Because you have no idea what a tough life really looks like. And it gets worse than that, what I've been through. Like that's as bad as it can possibly get in my country. Like, I'm from Hamilton. I'm like 30 minutes away from Toronto, the biggest, largest city, most violent city in the whole country. Toronto's the hood, buds, of this country. You know what I mean? And that's where I grew up, in the slums. People get shot for wearing the wrong color shoelaces, bro. Like, you get shot in your face, broad daylight, right in the mall. Go look up the mall shootings in Toronto. Like, I grew up in a violent, hostile place. I had to do things that made me an animal to survive. And then you want to tell me to come and be a part of your stupid little society that talks shit to me the whole time when I'm 18? Now you want me to be fucking normal and be a part of it? Not happening. You know what I'm saying? So it's either I sell drugs to survive, I rob people, or I become poor and I become homeless and I give up and I say, you know what? I don't fit into this world. I can't make a way in this world. I tried multiple times. I've done roofing, labor, I've done construction, I've worked in a kitchen for 6 months at the working center in Kitchener, Ontario, and I broke down. I broke down. I can't maintain for more than 6 months without completely becoming emotionally delusional. I have post-traumatic stress disorder. I randomly have bursts of violence, and all of a sudden I just want to kill people and like smash things, and like I start crying out of nowhere because I see a picture of my dad and I start bawling, and my first love that died, and like it's just too much. Like, everybody loses their parents, okay? Yeah, we all have to move forward in life, you know what I mean? But in the end of the day, when it happens too soon and it happens the way it did for me, and I was 14 years old, my dad was getting me to sell drugs, and then he dies when I go to jail and I miss the funeral. Way different elements involved here, okay? Way fucking different elements involved. It's not just simply my father passed away and we had a great little time together while I was on earth. No, it was a fucking nightmare. My whole life was a nightmare, okay? So that will cause you to withdraw from the system, not want to be a part of it, not be able to work. I can't get a job. You know how many, bro, the jobs that I got, I was lucky to get. You know what I'm saying? I got turned down from Value Village because my references were too old. And I said, hey, I'm new to BC and I'm trying to build references, and this is why I'm applying for this job, and I'm very motivated and ready to work. Would you give me an opportunity? Sorry, no, your references are too old. Like, I'm sorry. That doesn't even make any sense. Okay, I left. I went and got another interview, I think Superstore, and they said, do you have a criminal record? And I was honest with them. I said, yeah, from when I was like 18 years old. That's like 10 years ago. They're like, well, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to hire you because you have a criminal record. And I said, well, that was like 10 years ago. Like, I was like 18. I'm 20 something years old. Excuse me. And like, you know, it's like, is this really the world that I live in? And then the world's gonna sit there and call me a piece of shit when I'm fucking trying? Like, I'm trying to get in. I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to provide. I don't want to fucking be homeless. You know what I mean? Come on, man. People need to wake up. So this is my new mission in life right now, and it's all around homelessness and the stigma, and treating people like that, man. And the whole time, like, even shelter staff treated me like I was a piece of shit. Like, they're like, you just don't want to deal with your recovery. That's why you want to be outside and this and that. You don't want to do. I'm like, bro, I don't want to be in here because everybody is fucked up in here, and I'm not. I'm trying to stay not fucked up. So I gotta go outside and stay the fuck away from these motherfuckers so I can keep a clear head. These motherfuckers already lost their mind. They don't give a fuck. Some of them. You know what I mean? And they always try to use addiction against me. I was never a fucking drug addict. I was a fucking drug dealer, bro. I sold the fucking drugs to all the fucking people. You know what I mean? And I killed people. Like, that ruined lives. That's killing people. That's ruining lives. So, you know how much of a man it takes to be able to make $1,000 a fucking day and have more money than fucking all these losers that are working for fucking minimum wage and crumbs and shit? That's the way we looked at it. Like, you guys are fucking stupid. Like, you know? And then all of a sudden, I quit. I say I'm not gonna hurt people no more, and I forcefully stop myself from selling drugs. And I become homeless and poor because I can't get a job because I got a criminal record, and I stop selling drugs to be a good man, you piece of shit, and I'm the piece of shit. I didn't ask for that life. I was born into it. Remember that. 14 years old, my father had me selling cocaine. So don't put the blame on everybody all the time, man. Wake up. Stop it. You're contributing to pain. You want pain, you're gonna get pain back. If you deliver it, if you put it out there and you treat people like that, you're gonna get hurt. Pain will come back to you. That's karma is true, and it is real. Universally, it will happen to you. So make sure you correct the way you think, man. Anyways, I would like to say that I'm doing good now. I'm housed. I'm doing work. I got a contract, $20 an hour contract with the Existence Project to start as a program developer and a speaker, to speak about my lived experience and you know, try and help remove some of that stigma and be a voice for the homeless community. So now look at what I've done. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm going now in life. Okay, I'm gonna expose the truth, and the system is chewing people up and spitting them out. I'm telling you, and so is society. And the system and society is contributing by being the way that they're being. They're contributing to homelessness, addiction, and trauma. And you need to stop. If you want it to go away, if you don't like it, you know what I mean? If you want to help, if you care, you know what I mean? Like, so, I mean, I've been in the streets all my life. I sold drugs all my life. I've been in jail all my life, you know. And you know what? All of my friends are dead, or they're in jail for life. I was the only motherfucker that survived. My first love died. My dog died. My dad died. My cousin overdosed. My best friend lost his mind to mental illness and doesn't remember who I am or even his mother, and he walks around the streets in circles with long hair and holes in his clothes and dirt on his pants. I am so broken inside that the only thing that I ever wanted to do was take my own life. And I said, you know what? This is a nightmare, and that nobody should have to live through this, and I have to exit. I have to get out of this immediately. Because I tried to do it the way that everybody else thinks that you can just do it, and it didn't work for 15 years. Me banging my head off the wall, trying to become a part of society and do what's right and get a job and work and earn for myself. And you know, I went to school, I went to college, North Island College. I went to go take social services. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was in the homeless shelter, working a part-time job, going to college at the same time. and the homeless shelter shut down for renovations. It was in Courtney. It was the only shelter, so they started paying people's tickets to go to Campbell River, to the other shelter. And I said, bro, I'm in college, I'm enrolled into college, and I have a part-time job, and I just got all this, and you're gonna you're gonna knock my legs out from underneath me and tell me I gotta go all the way to Campbell River? I'm gonna lose my job, I'm gonna lose my schooling? I just got it. I'm trying to get out of homelessness, but this is what keeps happening over and over again, and people don't see shit like this happening. Like, what are the chances of a fucking shelter closing for renovations for 4 months, and it's the only shelter in the town? Exactly. Like, most people wouldn't believe that if they heard that. That's what happened in my real life, and that's not just one thing. There's been many things just like that where it made me want to rip my hair out. Okay, so you're hurting people that are trying to survive, bro, and the system's stepping on my throat trying to kill me. You know what I mean? And society's spitting at me, you piece of shit. So guess what? You wonder where the crime comes from, the crime rate comes from? That's when eventually I say, okay, snap. And I go, alright, boom, gun, start robbing people. You want to treat me like that? This world wants to treat me like that. My parents want to treat me like that. And then this is what's going to happen to me. I can't even make a way for myself. Boom. That's what's going to happen. Okay, now you know how this process really takes place. But anyways, that doesn't have to be my reality. And I just want to say that I fought through all of that. I didn't give in to addiction. You know how many days I woke up and wanted to stick a needle in my vein and just kill myself or just start doing drugs to help numb the pain? I had to deal with all of that raw emotion with no help from any drug or any medication because I'm against the pharmaceutical industry. You know, so I don't know how I survived. I don't know how I survived. I don't know how I'm alive. And now that I am alive and that I did survive, that's proof that there is a way out, but it will almost kill you trying to get out. Less than 1% chance that you're gonna, like, that's the way it felt, okay? Like, and it still feels like that, but you know what? If there is still a 1% or even less than 1% chance that you can escape and get out, it's worth it. It's worth fighting for the blood, sweat, and tears and getting out of it, and just, it doesn't matter. You just gotta get there. And that's all I was ever trying to do. And everything was built against me. It was the dark, it's making me stutter. That's how fucked up it is, okay? So I just can't believe how cold and dark this world is and how blind the world is to the truth about homelessness and all these things, and it's a tragedy, you know? And like I said, I've had all the jobs you can think of, and I've had all the money more money than any of these people that are working for it. I had more money, $1,000 a day I was making, and blowing $1,000 a day, you know? But I was contributing to help kill somebody. That's the reality when you sell drugs. So that's not the way. And I would rather be homeless and poor and be sitting in a tent hurting than be doing that to someone else, because I don't want to deal with that karma. Life is hard enough already, you know? I was born into that life. I didn't ask for it. So don't always be saying that everybody's homeless because they made wrong choices in life. Because you would be a damn fool if you really believe that. And here's the proof, and I'm going to keep improving it. There's more that I'm going to show. But anyways, you know, I'm doing good right now. Everything is okay. The future looks a lot more brighter than it ever has. And I'm going to keep pushing towards this and doing this type of work that I'm doing with the Existence Project. I'll leave links so you guys can check it out. But you can Google the Existence Project. Marco is the owner of that organization. Really good person, really good people. The Amwin House. If it wasn't for the Amwin House, I wouldn't be in this position right now. You know, I know I'm extreme and I know I'm real and I swear and people feel uncomfortable or whatnot. But you know what? Life isn't always like training wheels. Like, you gotta just man up and just grow up, man. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm swearing or talking the way I'm talking. If it makes you uncomfortable, then too bad. Then you need to know what real life is about, and you need to feel it, and stop hiding away from it and trying to get away from what authenticity feels and looks like. Because this is what authentic looks like, and this is what it sounds like. Get used to it, because we've been living in a fake world this whole time, and everybody's fake. So it's time to get real, especially about homelessness. My name is Corey Resilient. Please share this video, like it, let me know what you think in the comments, and tell me the story. Tell me your own story, you know, let me hear.